Hello, Flowback. Good to see you. Today, this is about man-made disaster, and the discussion is about what to do.
Man-made disaster, burglary. What can you do to minimize burglaries and possibly prevent them? What should you do if someone is trying to burglarize your house while you are there? What should you do immediately after a burglary has taken place and you are a victim of a crime? What can you do to better prepare and minimize burglaries? Come this Monday as Ranger 92308 tells you how to do these following things. Thank you. Have a good day.
So, with that in mind, we're going to talk about that very thing because burglary is a serious situation. It is a man-made disaster. And the scary fact is, burglaries happen more often than people think. By definition, a burglary is, in fact, one second. Sorry, I had a mess up. Burglaries are listed as so. Definition of a burglary is entry into a building illegally with intent to commit a crime, especially theft. And it's not just a building. Burglary can be considered entering into vehicles, campsites. Various ideas of burglaries do occur. According to statistics from the FBI Federal Bureau of Investigation burglary data for 2019, showed that 45% of all reported burglaries occur in the daytime, as opposed to 39% at night. In between is evenings. In 2019, 1,117,696 burglaries took place. And the reason for the study right now is because burglaries are more frequent during the month when temperature rises, due to the, and so does the number of burglaries arise. On average, burglary rise about 10% between June to August. So, with that in mind, how can you protect yourself? What can you do to minimize, if not prevent it from happening altogether? Well, this is how we're going to do it. One, keep an eye on suspicious activity in your area. And by suspicious activity, I mean things that don't normally occur. You know, prime example would be a person riding around on a bicycle in the middle of the night, all dressed in black with no lights on. That could be someone casing the neighborhood looking for somewhere to break into. Suspicious activities can also be as followed: continuous repairs on vehicles in a non business place at a residential could be considered a place where there are a theft ring going on. People are going through altering vehicles to get rid of the VIN numbers, license plate numbers, and stuff like that to make it to where they are, in fact, unable to be traced. Another thing about suspicious vehicles could be um, someone parked in an unoccupied building or residential area, and either they're closed or no one's living there. Somebody could be looking to burglarize the place or cause damage, vandalism. Next thing for suspicious activity to keep an eye out for is people acting unusual during the daytime. For example, you got somebody who is in a vehicle, they're asleep behind the wheel. That could be two things, problems. One, either the persons have a medical condition or the person has a such as has a problem with heart problem or so forth. The second thing is that the person is either intoxicated on alcohol and passed out, or they're ODing on drugs. And the third thing is the person is casing the area, looking for somewhere where people will not acknowledge them being there, and they know they are more likely to be able to be successful at committing a crime in that area because nobody's saying anything. Very important if you see any of that, call the police. Because as they say, if your spidey senses are tingling or you say that's not normal, it's most likely someone getting ready to commit a crime or preparing to commit a crime. Therefore, you need to have be ready for it and be able to call the police if there's a problem. And you don't even have to give your information. Just say, I see a suspicious vehicle or a suspicious person, and I'd like to have an officer check it out. Next is suspicious person. Again, if a person is going door to door and saying, does Joe Schmo live here? You know Joe Schmo don't live anywhere in the neighborhood. That might be a suspicious person chasing out houses. Two, if you see a person running down the alleyway or running down the street with an item in his hand, he may have just committed a burglary, or he or she, and they may have stolen goods. Three, if you see people sitting inside their vehicles, either A, they're checking it out, chasing out the area to see whether it can burglarize or not, or another instance is they're trying to sell drugs. Very important to keep an eye out for these things. The next thing is, if you see a person who is just sitting there driving around with no particular place to go, he again may be casing out the area, seeing what they can do. I'll give you a prime example like this. A couple weekends ago, we had a white pickup truck parked outside of a business in the residential area. Nobody, he would slouch back in his truck like this, and he's got his hat down, and he's going like this. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, who pulls off on a residential street to take a nap? Nobody, unless they're trying to case it out. We walked up and talked to the gentleman to see if he was okay, and he left. Had another person do it about a day later. Nothing. About a week later, they had a theft on the next block. So we had the vehicle make, model, and license plate number. We turned it in as suspicious vehicle. Next, when you're going through these type of scenarios, and you see a suspicious vehicle, get the make, model. Does it belong? Is it a Dodge, Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, a Toyota, a Nissan, a Honda, a Hyundai? Yeah, Hyundai. I call it Hyundai because that's how I remember how to spell it. But a Hyundai. Is it, get what kind of vehicle, company it is, the make. Is it a Toyota Prius? Is it a Toyota, or a Chevy Camaro, Corvette? Is it a Ford Mustang or a Ford F-150, etc.? Get the make and model of it. What color was it? Was it red, green, blue, white, black? And the license plate number. Make sure you get it. Even if you get a partial, get it down. If you get, for example, Oregon license plate XYZ, and it was this kind of car, that gives them a good place to start. Believe it or not, the cops are pretty good at connecting the dots on partial license plates and the type of vehicle. Next, when you're having these type of things going on, describe what happened. Describe, I saw this person, they're slouched over in their vehicle, and if they're not responding, call the police. Say, I think we have a suspicious vehicle here. We've had problems in the neighborhood. I'd like a person to come check it out, please. Be sure to say suspicious. Because otherwise, I'll give you an example like this. They had an incident where someone saw a suspicious vehicle, but they didn't called in saying I'm concerned with the vehicle, so it was titled concerned caller. A burglary occurred, but because the person didn't call it in and say it was a suspicious vehicle, the cops didn't check on it till later. If they would have said it was a suspicious vehicle, the cops would have came and checked right away. Make sure to use the word suspicious vehicle, suspicious person. And if you have a person that's doing suspicious stuff, make sure to find out exactly what they're wearing. Approximate age. Does he have green or black shirt with green stripes on it, or does he have, is he wearing glasses? Does he have a mustache? Does he have short, long hair? Is he white? Is he Caucasian? Is he Hispanic? Is he, African American? Is he Latino? And same with female. Get a description. That helps the cops out tremendously. Next, when you're having these types of things, remember to get questions like if you're writing a newspaper article. Remember when we were in school, they would say, who, what, where, and when, and how. Who did it? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And how did they do it? You know, those are very important when describing exactly what to do. Now, what can you do to help minimize, if not prevent this? Because taking these steps will not completely eliminate burglary, but they make it a lot harder. One, when you're dealing with things like this, the way to minimize it, don't leave any valuables in your vehicle. You know, and if you're out somewhere and have valuables in it, either A, stick it in the trunk, slide it under your seat out of visual where they can't see it, or take it with you. Two, lock your doors. You know, on a house, a good suggestion is, and this came from studies, and a way to do that is, you know, on the deadbolt, you have 1/4 inch screws. Okay. And they suggest that what you do is on a deadbolt, if you haven't noticed, on the metal part of the deadbolt, you will see they have 1/4 inch screws. Make it harder for the people. Instead of having 1/4 inch screws, take those 1/4 inch screws out, put in 4-inch screws. Now, this time, if this person decides they're going to try and kick the door in, they're going to hurt the hell out of themselves when they try that, if they're even successful. Most likely, after try kicking the first time and hurting their leg, they're going to be deterred from it. The same with the car. If it's locked up and they see several cars all on the same block, locked up, it's secured, no valuables inside, they're going to try and find somewhere else to go. Because they want the easiest, quickest bang for their bang. You know, they want to get in there, get the good, and get out of there as quick as possible. Average time on a burglary is 2 minutes. They get in there, they get what they can, and get out of there unnoticed. Make it hard for them. Make sure that you have it there. And another good deterrent is alarms on your house, on your vehicle. You set the alarms on those, that will it will definitely, they don't want as less noise as possible. They want the easiest, the quietest, and the quickest. So if you have a car alarm going on, they're going to get out of there. You have a house alarm going on, they're going to get out of there. If they see signs for house alarm, they're going to go to the next house. If they see cameras and signs for cameras, they're going to go to the next house. And I'll give you a hint from my own, what's going on right now. In my house, we have ADT Alarm Company. And if you guys have an alarm company, check with them. Because for $16 more on ADT, they're going to install cameras on our house that we can see via cell phone, computer, tablet, highly, highly recommended you get cameras on your house. And I'll tell you what, it'll probably help somebody else. If you have cameras pointed out and they're looking all over, you might help your neighbor down this way. If your camera's pointed this way, you may catch it on your camera to help your neighbor. Second, get to know your neighbor. Get to know who lives where. As I always say, get to know all 9 neighbors: north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest. Get to know all 9 of your neighbors and let them know. Let them know that, this is my name, this is my phone number, and they'll get to know you, and don't just do it on social media. Do it in person. Because that way, you getting to know them and them getting to know you. Guess what? People aren't going to be able to break in easily in your backyard or your side yard on either side or in front. Because your neighbors most likely are going to be like, that's not Ranger. That's not his family. Hi, we got a suspicious person around Ranger's house. So get to know the people and get them to know you. Second, if you're going on vacation, have the neighbor pick up your newspaper that's thrown in your yard. Or stop your mail or have your mail forwarded if you're going to say your family relative somewhere or friend in another state. Have the post office forward it to them. That way it's not stacking up in your mailbox. Third, let your neighbors know, hey, I'm going on vacation. I'll be back in da da da. They can help keep an eye out on your house. Very important you take these steps. Which brings me to my next topic. With June now in effect, a lot of kids are graduating and stuff. A lot of people want to go on vacation, which is the next problem. When you're on vacation, if you go camping, believe it or not, they do have them. And you can actually take steps to deal with them. With a lot of people going out camping, it's a safe reminder that they do have campsite theft. The things you can do to minimize these are lock your vehicle when you're venturing off on an early morning hike. Lock your personal belongings out of sight in your vehicle or carry them with you. If you're in a tent camping, valuables can be easily stolen. Get an extra set of eyes. If you leave a campsite for a day trip, ask your neighbor. You keep an eye on it for us. If you have things like expensive grills, bikes, secure them to a tree with a cable lock. I know it sounds funny, but they have 2 parts on a zipper, 2 zipper things that zip together. They have miniature locks that you can actually lock that zippers together, like you do for luggage carry-on. You can do it for tents as well. Third, seeds take shape in the form of furry animals. Properly store your food in airtight containers. This not only keeps it fresh and prevents animals from noticing its scent in raiding your campsite. Fourth, make sure all your belongings are properly secured. Stored expensive items in your car or RV. Properly stake items to keep them secure from Mother Nature. When you're drying your gear after a day of swimming or so forth, dry them out during the day. Never assume you can leave them out overnight and expect them to be there the next morning. And third, or also the next most important thing, cell phone, tablets, computers. Unless you're on a business trip, you're just out camping, leave them home. That is the safest, most effective way to avoid lost and stolen property while camping. You're out there to enjoy nature. You're out there to hang out with family. You're out there to enjoy the simpler life. Don't take your tablets. Don't take your computers, your iPads, your all that stuff. Leave it at home. Very important thing. Next, going down these things, really important when you're dealing with all these. Remember again, if you see something happen, describe the event, describe whatever vehicle the describing person will help the most. Document it. Document everything before you call because when something happens, it's best to have it fresh in your memory. Because otherwise you're sitting there going, well, yeah, he did have, and they did go, and I think, no, wait a minute, I got it written down here. It was a such and such car heading north on, such and such road. The license plate number was such and such. There was one Caucasian male and driver, and the female was a Caucasian in the passenger seat. The male had, white shirt, etc. When you have it written down, when it's fresh in your memory, it's a lot easier to go over it than if you're trying to do it from, uh, yeah, exactly. Best to have it written down where you can go back over it right away and keep it for a little while if you see an incident. Very important thing to know because, like I said, burglary is on the rise, especially now because, as I said in the statistics, that on average, burglaries rise about 10% between June to August. And therefore, now is the time to be discussing what to do. It's better to be proactive than reactive. And if you see something suspicious, don't feel afraid. If the crime is occurring, use the emergency number 911. If a crime has occurred, then call the non-emergency phone line. And if you suspect something, do not hesitate to call. The cops would rather be called to investigate it and find out it was nothing than to have to come out there and take a report because a burglary occurred and nobody called it in. One instance they had 5 black juveniles that were burglaring. And the person said they were afraid to call because they didn't want to feel like they were stereotyping. Another one said, well, I saw it happen. I'm waiting till the police came to me to give them the video from my camera. Those juveniles could have been stopped right then and there. But because they did not call, because they didn't want to feel like they were stereotyping, they didn't want to, you know, send the wrong message. These juveniles did 8 burglaries before they finally caught him. If you see something suspicious, do not be afraid to call. You may save a life. You may save someone's property. You may save a headache. Next, very, very important. If you have, let's say you have a burglary while you're asleep at night and the burglar comes in, first off, don't panic. Continue to pretend you're asleep. If you can catch a glimpse of them without them knowing, get everything you can see. But do not confront them. If you come home and you think, well, I probably forgot to lock the door or shut the door, call the police. Say, my house is insecure, the doors are open, have them check it out. If you're asleep and they break in, continue to pretend like you're asleep. Better to wait for them to leave and then call than to try confronting them and possibly get hurt or killed. Things can be replaced. People cannot. It's very, very important that you remember these, and I'll say it over and over and over again. Things can be replaced. People cannot. Granted, it may be sentimental value to you, but it's not worth losing your life over. Next, if someone tries breaking in while you're home, make all these noises. Or, like me, I sit there and when I hear somebody outside, personally, I have, my parents both drive, and I grab their keys. If I'm home alone, I'll grab my mom's keys, you know, or even, I'll say, hey, I'm busy, come back later. Or my water heater's fine. Say something, be noisy. Me personally, I even carry funny it sounds these little keychains, and I hit the panic alarm. They know, you know, do something to let them know I'm home. You know, I even turned around one time. I had someone trying to ask me questions, and I said, looked at them and said, "Hey, I'm taking care of my kids. Come back later." Do something to let your presence be known that you are home. Just recently, they had a burglary or attempted burglary, and the person was actually trying to force themselves in the house while the people were home. They finally got the door shut and locked the deadbolt, and she yelled, "We have guns." Well, the guy turned around and jumped over the fence, tried coming in the back door, and their child, which I do not recommend, but their child stuck the head out and said, "Hey, My mom told you she has a gun and she's about to shoot you. And when she shouted, she's about to shoot you, the guy finally got smart and took off. Yes, that is a very good hint. Really, TT. Very, very, very good hint. Keep your car keys beside you. Turn the alarm on if, you know, and that's another good point. Thank you, TT, for saying that. Guys, and I'm going to leave up TT's quote here because I want you to think about this. Just because you shut the garage door, make sure that you lock the door between your house and that garage. Because here's the problem. Oh, I clicked the door, the garage door is closed. There are people who know how to find, they steal garage door openers and they go house to house. Click, 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 click. If your garage door opens, you are now vulnerable. But if you lock the door in between the garage and your house, that's one step more. Give you another hint. And I know there are a lot of people that do this, so I'm letting you know a couple of things. One, ladies, when you come in from shopping, a lot of people have a what they call a harvest table. You know, you come in the front door, you throw your purse on this table, you throw your keys in there, then you start putting your groceries away. Wrong. You come in, put your groceries down, put your purse in the room. It only takes but a second for someone to run in your house, grab your purse, and what did I got? Come on, lady. Everything. ID, wallet, in your wallet, your keys to your vehicle, your, you know, probably your cell phone if you leave it in your purse. Now they got all your contact information. Don't do that. Put your purse in a secure place before you put your groceries away. And I'll do it the other way. Guys, how many of you come in? You just had a long day, you set your keys, and you take and set your wallet on the kitchen table or on the top of the fridge, and then you go and do whatever. Not a good idea. It don't take but a minute for somebody to run in, grab it, and run back out the door. Keep your wallet and your keys on you or put them in a secure place. Yes, some doors are faulty and folks go through exactly. They do. So it's best to lock the door between your house leading into the garage. Exactly, really, TT. And you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed how many people think, oh, my garage door's closed, so I'm safe. You know what? As a matter of fact, what we started doing on our garage doors, and we even have the electric garage opener, we lock the inside. We take and put the lock thing on it to where you have to unlock it before you hit that garage door opener. Because if somebody outside has that garage door opener code, they're not going to be able to get in because it's locked from the inside. With that in mind, I'm going to show you a few things that I have learned that will help. One, your valuables. If you can't put them in a bank safe at the bank, here's a cool couple ideas I learned. One, ladies and gentlemen, take your valuables. For example, ladies and even gentlemen have a lot of nice fancy jewelry for when they go out to nice places. They want to look good. I'm one of them. I wear my jewelry all the time. When you're not wearing it, one person took, and this was a brilliant idea, and got butcher paper. I'll tell you about that in a second. Good question, Beck. I'll answer that in just a second. Hi, Daganios. They took butcher paper, took all the valuables, wrapped it in their butcher paper, taped it up, wrote squirrel meat on it, and put it in the bottom of their freezer. While they may steal a T-bone steak or a pork chop, how many people do you know eat squirrel meat? I don't. A good way to hide it. Put it in butcher paper, write squirrel meat on it, put it in the bottom of your freezer. Another one, very helpful, and that I thought was very awesome, was the electric plug safe. And I know you're probably going, oh, what? It is called the electric plug safe. It's not a real plug, but I'll just show you this. You can get them on Amazon for $13.88. And I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys to see this. It is genius. And I mean, sincerely genius. This is called the hidden wall safe. And I'll blow up the picture where you can see it better. It looks like an ordinary outlet. But look at all the stuff you can hide in it. Easy installation. You cut a hole in your wall. You pull that insulation out. You put the wall plug in. Quick and easy assembly. And look at the sides of that. It looks, and you know what? The price? Look at that. They got jewelry in there. They got money in there. It looks like an ordinary outlet. Anybody ask them that just doesn't work. We we were gonna get a electrician out, but we couldn't afford it right now. So look at the price, folks. $13.88. $13.88. You can order that. Let me make sure it's coming up here. One second. I don't know why it's not coming up. One sec, folks. Let me try something. Sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't sharing. Embarrassing, but I'll get it up. There we go. $13.88. for this. It looks like a wall safe or an ordinary plug. You install. You cut out a piece of your drywall. You insert this in and you screw it back in. It looks like an ordinary plug. But you can install, put your jewelry, your money, everything in. If anyone ever asks, can I use that outlet? No, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. We meant to get we meant to get an electrician out, but we haven't done so yet. That is really cool. Exactly. Exactly. It new definition of hidden in plain sight. It's a big. It looks like a real outlet, but it's not. And these are some tips and hints that you can use to minimize theft, burglary. Get to know your neighbor. Get your neighbor to know you. You know, back before we had Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Instagram, all that, everybody knew everybody. Everybody was getting out, getting to know people. Now, due to the social media, a lot of people aren't getting to know their neighbors very well. They're not getting out, getting to know people. The best way to minimize, if not completely eliminate it, is to be proactive, not reactive. This is a man made disaster that can be eliminated, if not minimized, by taking the proper steps. Secure your doors. Again, if you have the quarter-inch screw to your deadbolt, why not go down to the hardware store and buy 4-inch screws that you put into the stud of your wall? Matter of fact, I'll even show you what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people are going, "What do you mean?" I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as that goes. On the deadbolt, and I've seen this. This is why I'm pointing it out to you guys. The little section where, let's see if I can get a good picture. Yes, I can. Okay, hopefully you can see my mouse. Just over here, see that little section right here? Let me bring it up bigger. That little trim piece right here. Hopefully you can see me doing it on the mouse. You want to make sure to take out the quarter-inch screws and put in 4-inch screws. When they kick that door, they're gonna hurt the hell out of themselves. I said it earlier and I mean it. You ever kick something really hard and it ended up hurting you? That's what's gonna happen to them if in fact you do go through and take, and the small area and make it to where, you know, it's hard to kick it. Otherwise, I'll show you, see if I can pull up an example. There's been times where people had this lock just like so, but because had the little screws and not the 4-inch screws, they were able to kick it open. They were able to kick this open. Oh, that's a good one, Dagon Hill. That actually, you just taught me something new. Thank you. Thank you, Dagon Hill. I did not know that. Dagon Hill said something very smart. You can get extra long strike plate to raise a second deadbolt higher. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point, Dagon Hill. Thank you. Deadbolts that require a key from the inside can be good too. Yes. Yes. I agree. Very much so. Those are very good here. Thank you, Dagon. I didn't even think of that. These are all hints that will help you stay secure and prevent, if not minimize, burglary. And even, like I said, if you even see suspicious vehicle, doesn't normally belong in there, make sure to write down the information on the vehicle, and what the people look like that are in it, and then call. I'll give you an instant like this. One of the neighborhood watch incident that occurred, because I've been watching different videos. In Canada, they had neighborhood watch up there too. And one of the neighborhood watch ladies watched the car come pulling into her block in park. And the people got out of that car and left her area, went next block over. She's like, that don't look right. She called the police, said, I have a suspicious vehicle, the license plate is such and such, and there are 4 male occupants. Well, they took all the information and had it marked as a suspicious vehicle. And she said she called a half hour later. They just left her heading north on Fairbanks Road. Unbeknown to her until later, a kid was home on a off day, vacation day. It was about 11 o'clock in the morning. What are most teenagers doing that get the day off? They sleep in late. These 4 guys got out of their car, went to his house because the kid's brother owed him drug money. They tied up this poor kid, pistol whipped him, and left him. When the kid was able to break free, he called 911 and gave them a description of the people. The police were able to tie the two things together as one, and they caught these 4 people and got a conviction. So do not hesitate to call about suspicious vehicles, suspicious people. They park and have a couple guys walk around looking for somewhere to hit. Yes, they do that too. Exactly, Dagon Hills, exactly. But these 4 guys in particular, were there to settle a drug score. but the kid's brother wasn't home, but he was. And they pistol whipped him. They probably would have never caught these guys except for the fact that that neighborhood watch person saw the suspicious vehicle with the four guys get out, run across to the next block, and she called it in. Yes, guys, in case you're curious, I am part of neighborhood watch for that reason. I want to make sure my neighbors are safe. Just like I do doing this series, because I want to make sure my subscribers are safe. Better to be proactive than reactive. Anything that seems out of the normal, exactly, report it. It's better to be safe. And then, like I said, the cops rather go investigate and find out it's nothing than have to take a report because there was a burglary. Or, you know, in this instance, someone beaten up for something they had nothing to do with. And I'm doing this series because I want to make sure you guys are safe. You guys know exactly what to do. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go over this one last time for review, and then we're going to go ahead and end. But again, suspicious activity. Who, what, when, where, how. Suspicious person. Who are they? What do they look like? How are they being suspicious? Suspicious vehicle. What kind of car is it? What's the model of it? What color is it? What's the license plate? Very good hint about that is I live in Salem, Oregon. Salem's close to Washington border. When you get a plate, are they from Washington? Also, Idaho people come to visit, and even Californians. When you get the plate number, are they from Washington plate? Are they Idaho plate? Are they California plate? Are they Oregon plate? Very important to get the state. When you're camping, make sure you secure all your belongings, or if you cannot secure them, take them with. Again, remember to describe the events that are occurring during all this. And make sure be safe, guys. The best defense is a good offense. Take the precaution on securing your stuff, making it harder for them. And even by you taking your steps, you may save your neighbor. Because they may go through and check, okay, I'll just say, for example, they may go through Brenda's block and they try her car door. No, locked. They try a couple more that are locked. They're going to be like, yeah, this is a hard one. Let's go to the next neighborhood. They want the easiest bang for their bang. And that's why you got to be on your top of your game. The best defense is a good offense. Making sure there's nobody with the vehicle. Making sure that your vehicles are locked and maybe have your alarm on. Making sure that your house doors are locked. Not just the garage door, but the door to your house. from going into the garage or out of the garage into the house. It's locked. Make sure that you have proper lighting around your house as well. Make sure that you have notified your neighbors if you're going somewhere. Let them know I'm going on vacation. I'll be gone this long. I'll let you know when we're back. These are all important steps to avoid burglary. I hope this has helped you guys out. I thank you all for being here. As I continue my disaster preparedness studies, I'm going to take a week off next week because I'm going to be getting my getting things taken care of. But I will restart the disaster preparedness on the 21st. And besides, next Tuesday, not tomorrow, next Tuesday, I'm going to have a fun day out. Now, this young man, it would turn 4 or 5. So, with that in mind, everybody, thank you for being here. Have a great day, everyone. Like I said, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to shoot them to me. I will answer them to the best of my ability. There is no dumb question. There is no dumb comment. Some of the best comments I get are from you guys, either in the comment section or during the live stream, because they're very helpful hints. There's something, like I said, that people taught me on here. I mean, Dallas gave a good instance that I didn't think about, you know, but a couple of them. One is get an extra long strike plate and a second deadbolt higher up. Get deadbolts that require a key from both sides. You know, those are good hints. Anything that's out of the normal, it's better to be safe. Anything that's out of the normal should be called in. These are the hints that help me. Thank you, Flowback. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you, like I said, on the 21st for the next disaster preparedness study. Until then, have a great week, everybody. As always, stay positive, stay alert, stay warm. The best safety it can be. I hope you guys appreciate this as much as I appreciate the opportunity to do this for y'all. Thank you guys so much, and I really, really appreciate all your support during this time. As always, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Until then, don't be a stranger to the Ranger. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.